Hello everybody! Time to make another helmet today. I've made a few before with toys and stuff. The first one is hidden underneath that cover right there. That's the Venator Mark 1. I made a how-to video showing you how to make that piece by piece, step by step, if you're interested in that. That second helmet there is the Venator Mark 2. That's one that I dropped and I'm not going to wear again because it's not safe to wear and some pieces are missing, but it's a Venator Mark 2. I'm actually getting that one away. There's my Instagram post with a picture of it, and if you comment on it, I'm going to pick a commenter and just give it away. So if you're interested in that as a keepsake, go ahead and comment. Also, I'm wearing one of my own shirts because I'm vain. It's okay if I like my own designs, right? Well, anyway, if you like this one, I have this and several others on my Teespring store, including a limited hoodie. There's 500 of them. If you like that design, please check that out. So what I'm doing today is I'm gonna make that more better. Because if you didn't know, I have a Venator suit. I have a whole outfit. And when we built that, I customized that helmet yet again to make it a little bit better, which I have right here off screen. And I better grab that now because this seems appropriate. This is the Venator Mark II Revised 2.5, doesn't have an official name. It's not the same because the breathing apparatus is different. There's no more loose conduit hose. There's no electrical wires on the outside, and the fins are completely custom. They're not Legos anymore. There's no Legos on this one. But this one goes with the suit. And my goal today is to make one of these that I can ride with. I want to keep this one just as it is. I don't want to take it out. I don't want to get bugs stuck in every crevice. This one's supposed to be pretty. So I'm hoping to make an exact copy of this that I can use in my moto vlogs. So I figured since I have a day to do it, and since I've recorded a couple other helmet things, I'll go ahead and have the camera around this time. This is not going to be an exact how-to. This isn't going to be a list of parts to buy. You could probably recreate this if you really wanted to, but if not, you can get like your own inspiration. So without making a cut in the video, here's the helmet. A lot of you know what it is. It's the AFX FX41. Fresh, brand new. AFX FX41, as you can see, it has a peak on it as a sun visor. Take that off, do some other things. But other than that, they've actually changed this over the years a little bit. I know because I've gotten like 10 of these. So anyway, that's the base helmet. I also went ahead and bought a smoke visor for looks. There's a lot of other parts in here I'll try to go over as well. The most important part, toys. Right here actually is exactly what I need. So this back section of this visor, this originally goes on a headpiece and it goes right here. And then you can read text in here, that's where it's from. I bought this on eBay. Out of over 1,000 listings for Spy Gear toys, these are over a decade old, I only found 2 sets. So I bought them both. I only need one, but I figured, hey, if I never find them again, let's have an extra pair. So I'm gonna customize these. I was gonna take them apart and paint them and sand them and stuff, but those give a special look on the helmet. Also, the actual respirators. These are just air filters from a paint mask, a 3M paint mask. And obviously these won't function to filter air, but why not use air filters with actual air filters? So that's what those are for. Also, all of my motovlogging helmets have to have a microphone. I can't say enough praises about this thing. I'm gonna make a separate video about just this from motovlogging helmet. So this is called the Purple Panda microphone. Chase on Two Wheels recommended this to me. You can get it really inexpensively on Amazon. Works for all the GoPros and sounds amazing. I love this so much. So because this is gonna be a riding helmet, you need a microphone, and if I can help it, my riding helmets have some Cena on it. That's a Bluetooth thing, so you can listen to music, talk to people, answer phone calls. Convenient and fun. I have several Cenas on my different helmets. Cena gave me this one. I haven't had an excuse to use it yet, so I've been saving it for this build. So the first things we're gonna do are put in the motovlogging stuff, the camera mount, microphone, Cena, but one other thing is not here, and that is the fins. The fins are special, they're super custom, and they're supposed to arrive later today, but I figured I'll just start anyway. So those are all the parts. Okay, I think I'm ready to start. I don't have a workbench. I have a bar table, so that's where I'm gonna be doing most of this stuff. I brought up most of the tools, or all the tools I think I'll need off camera here, and I'm going off of my experience doing this several times. So speaking of doing this several times, there is an appropriate order of operation. First thing we're gonna do is just take this off and replace some bolts. Let's just do that right now. Using a Phillips or just a big flat, I'm gonna remove this peak first, and then we'll never see it again. I need that. Goodbye! Now in that hardware bag, in the newer models, I believe they've gotten better at including some plugs. So let's see if this one has them. It does have the optional visor lips, which I like a lot. Yep, there's 3 of them right here. Now, I assume that's what these are for. I could be dead wrong, but they include plugs, which are flat on top, and then they have a stem on the bottom, like this. They also have, with that stem, a little plastic tab right there, and I assume the point of that is so that you can put it in here, and then you can use that plastic pull tab if you change your mind to pull it out. I hate those plastic tabs, they're never gonna come out, so I'm just gonna cut those little pull tabs off. So cutting that off, fill in those 3 holes like that. Boom, and now it's a lot cleaner looking. I should be Bob Rossing this. Just a happy little rubber stem right there. Look at that, right in his home. Right in his home. I haven't watched Bob Ross in a while. Well, that's not right. Wow. Hold on, did it fall in the helmet? That would be terrible. Well, that's, oh wow. I pushed this in and it pushed the whole thing. The whole thread, the whole gold thread just popped in there. It was loose and now I can't hear it, so it's stuck somewhere in here. Good, which means this won't fit because now it's got nothing to see to, so I might super glue that later. Yeah. Now while I'd like to go ahead and put the new smoke visor in right now, that would not be the best time to do it. In fact, that's the very last thing that's gonna happen. That being said, we can take out this one because we don't need it, and then we can actually use that space to reach inside the helmet when we're doing stuff. So let's get it out of the way. And goodbye forever. I have like 10 of these if someone needs one. Take off any stickers that are not good. Like this one, which says size large, which almost all my helmets are size large. Now what I should do after getting this sticker off is clean off that residue, but because this is the helmet I'm gonna be wearing and it's gonna get nasty, I'm not as worried, but you can't even see it. That's gonna pick up dust and stuff. Also, I would suggest wiping this with a cloth to get rid of the oils, like with alcohol or something, but I'm still not that worried. Unfortunately for me, this is permanent. This is not a sticker, this is like imprinted on there. What I did on this one, since this is a pretty helmet, there's just a big old block of gaffer's tape back there, and it doesn't look great, but I think it looks better than a big old white dot. I'm gonna leave that there for now. I can always put a tape on there later. And yeah, originally that helmet, the Mark II, I took this off, partly because I had a big solar panel back here that's in the way, but I don't need it anymore, and I think this looks cool. That's one of the vent handles, so that stays, and unless I am dead wrong, that's the base helmet we actually start working on. Now comes the fun / not fun at all part, and that is doing the wires. I don't like doing the wires, but you know, it's important. So, order of operations. What you do is you start with the elements that your wires connect to. In this case, we have a GoPro, which is gonna go here, that's the plate for it, and then a Cena, which is gonna go back here somewhere. Cena's gonna be a little bit tricky, but I'll get to that later. This part's a little bit easier. I have mounted GoPros on here before. I prefer chin mounting. I can make a different video about that, but it's gonna go right here, so I'm gonna get some double-sided tape and stick that on there and put the camera there. Now I'm trying something risky. I did something similar in my other helmet where I ran the cable through the nose. So what I'm actually trying to do, instead of running it underneath, which is what I always have to do usually, but I hate it, I'm trying to get this out. I think it's possible. I'm usually reluctant to just try to take apart a helmet and cut into it, but that's exactly what I'm doing because I would like it, and if it's a helmet I'm gonna take apart and learn about, it's this one. I think it's possible. It's just gonna take a lot of squirming. Oh, look at that! See? I don't know if this is gonna help me get the cable through there, but I mean, there's plastic pieces and it looks like it just clips. Yeah, so I've gone this far, I may as well keep working on that. Guys, this helmet is like a Lego, apparently. Wow. So that comes off, and then all you're left with is the net. Maybe you're supposed to be able to remove that. I doubt it, but that's one of the vents. And man, there's still plastic wrap around the foam body. That's really weird. But if I really want to, I can totally do this. The one real problem is, I don't want to lose that, that's important. The one real problem is that either end of this cable will have to fit through at one point to run it through. Either end is pretty big. If it was as simple as running that through, sweet, but no. So if I want to do it, I'm gonna have to cut through the mesh and I'm gonna have to cut in the vent, and that's a moving part. And then I really don't need to do any of this, but I'm going above and beyond and I want to keep going. I have an idea. So what I'm gonna try to do is, since it's hard to hold with one hand, but since the camera sits up here, cable needs to get around here somewhere. Instead of running through all of this moving mechanism, what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna cut a channel right in there, very small, and then I'll only have to run the cable through there. But behind it, what I will have to do is cut the mesh big enough to fit one end of that adapter cable. But that way it'll look super clean. I just gotta get a tool to cut with. We're gonna own it. We're gonna go all the way. I know this isn't how you're supposed to do this, but if I could just on there, this I think will work. And I really wish I could get the camera closer, guys. I'm sorry, this is all I got. I'm trying to find a way to get that channel behind where the camera's gonna sit so you won't even see my cut anyway. This is gonna be tough. I should be wearing safety glasses for this, by the way. So wear safety glasses because reasons. Okay. Will it fit? Yeah, it fits. Okay, that was the hard part. I realized that since this is a mesh in here, I don't have to cut a hole. All I have to do is get my kniffy. All I have to do. This is all I have to do. I literally just have to cut an X. And this will punch through like the punch hole thing on The Price is Right, if that makes sense. If not, it makes sense to me, that's what matters. All right, man, wish me luck. Here I go, damaging my helmet some more. Oh, this is exciting, dude. Innovation. I'm gonna start by trying to feed this through the X. And all we need is success. Oh, it worked. I like success. And now, this is the part that's kind of, I really wish you guys could see closer and enjoy this with, hope you're enjoying it anyway. But then run that through the little channel I made. See that? Do you see that Mamma Jamma innovative coolness? Do you see that? You see how, this is legit. Look at that. Basically that. See how it's just, oh, that attached really easily. I'm trying to attach this grill back on before I lose that slack I have just distanced out. So I want it to stay right there. Back where it was, didn't even need to take that out. Check it out. There's your cable right there on the outside. Just gotta double check. So put the camera right where it's gonna be. Make sure it plugs in. Oh, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, I need a little bit more slack. Well, shoot, that's why we test. I really need a little bit more slack. Don't worry, all that means is we have to undo it. Again. You can barely even tell there's a cable going there, but there's your run on the outside. Again, unnecessary. I didn't have to do that. I could have had the cable hanging out here like I normally do, but now I don't have to do that. I can have it all inside. Yeah. So here's the inside. There it is, sitting right there. This is really unfortunate. So here's this adapter. The microphone, I literally want it to sit right there, like maybe 3 inches away. I'm gonna run it all up in the back, and part of the finagling process is getting that massive cable somewhere. I need to try the helmet on and make sure it doesn't like put pressure points on your head. This helmet's been pretty generous with room, so I might be okay, but that's where I'm going with this right now. It's hard to show. The microphone is right there behind this, and normally I would zip tie it down right here to that slit, but before I do that, it's important to put the camera on and test it to make sure the microphone works before we commit to leaving the wiring where it is. I want to make sure this microphone can hear me. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. And I'll put this in the computer and listen to make sure it works, and I might move these wires around back here so I don't feel them as much. Very important that you test, because I fudged around for a while and found out that I was not supposed to use the 10, 12 foot extension bull crap. I forgot that's not what you're supposed to use. There's a different piece you're supposed to use to make the Hero 4 work. Anyway, tested it and found out it didn't work. And then remembered, oh yeah, this is the one piece I don't need. So I redid it, and I put it in there, tested it. It sounds great. It looks good. I was just about to zip this down like I mentioned before. So, putting it right there. Zip in with a little bit of care, because this is a rubber piece. I don't want to bend it too bad. Right where I want it, where we have tested it to find out that it works. The final touch for the microphone is this little snip. Boop. Done. This helmet now has a camera and microphone, perfectly balanced, as all helmets should be. The next part is more internal wires. That's gonna be the Cena. I did open this box, but I put it back in, so I just gotta get everything out of here and figure out exactly what's gonna go where. So I mentioned earlier this is gonna be a little tricky, and the reason for that is because typically you set your starter piece first, like the camera, or in this case the Cena, wherever you want it, and you work around it. But in this case, I have to remember this helmet already has, or is going to have, parts on the side. So thankfully I have a copy right here. So using this helmet as a reference, I can figure out if or where this is going to fit. When I made this original one, I was trying to fit this Cena on it, and I thought, nah, I'll just wait until I build a replica, then I'll worry about it. I've just spent like 30 minutes doing every possible configuration for this Cena and its mounts, and I cannot find a way to make it fit on the existing helmet with the part of the helmets that are going to be on there. So I had this idea, and I got to choose between one of these two things. I could actually, instead of having a helmet fly away, instead of having, get that as the thumbnail, instead of having this respirator and this piece like I'm supposed to, I could have this and the Cena on this side. And essentially, this would act as that piece, because they're not very different. So it could work, I could fit it if I didn't put this on that side, but then the helmet wouldn't be symmetrical. So do I go looks are more important or functions more important? Because I did get the camera on here, and because the camera's on there, I'm thinking since the camera's on there, I'm gonna make this Cena work. And another thing to consider is I'm still gonna customize these pieces. I'm still gonna cut them up and paint them. So I'll have a dual set of them, and if later on I just don't like the way this thing looks, I can always take it off and stick that on. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna end up being asymmetrical just to make sure it's a motovlog worthy helmet. So yeah, that being said, since it's very crucial, I can't just kind of put this back here. It has to be exactly placed, which means this has to go first, and since I have to do that, I'm probably gonna have to wait until we finish this and put that on that helmet like that one, and then make this one essentially replace that piece. And as you can see, it's, you know, it's almost exactly the same size, so that might be a good use of space, but I'm gonna have to wait until we put that on to put that on and then do the cables. So those cables are gonna have to wait. I get to do something fun now. I get to cut these up, which won't take very long, but that'll be fun. All right, this part's fun because I haven't done this in over 10 years. Here are the two sets. This isn't like salvaging the goggles on the Venator one. You have to make sure the electronics work. You're cutting all that out. We're just gonna keep plastic. So that being said, take a look at the difference. These are the ones I had over a decade ago. They had this really ugly navy blue pale color. This is a later generation, which is already black, which is cool. They need to be black, but they're still gonna get painted again anyway. So I bought them both. I'm almost positive they look exactly the same. I only saw pictures of them, but either way, I'm gonna take them all apart. There's 4 total. So you got your set here and your sit here. So first things first, just cut these cables. Don't need them. Goodbye. You'll never work again. So there's that. We're only gonna be using this piece, not this piece. So there's essentially less work. Before, when I took these apart, I took them apart and kind of painted them and cleaned them up before I knew what I was gonna use them for, and I had them left over and I went, that'd be perfect on the helmet. So anyway, all of this is small Phillips. This is like, kind of bringing back memories. This is when I was like, I'm a genius, I'm taking apart my toys. I could just be done with that right there. But there you go, basically. Here's your two halves. Hollow, doesn't need to be full because that's the side facing the helmet. Put these three screws back in, that's it. I mean, that's easy. If you're trying to salvage all of it, you can take a longer process, but that's what I'm gonna do. So here you go, here are the two parts. That's all you need from the toys, because they're pretty similar in size and dimension. I mean, this is probably what I'm gonna end up doing. Essentially this. It's hard to see without the speakers on there, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm gonna go for. Like I said, I'm still gonna go ahead and paint these two. I'm also gonna paint these and this, and hopefully the fins will be here soon. Once the fins are here, I can continue. Hey everybody, welcome back. It is the next day. The fins at the top just showed up, and here's my other one, so I can fit them here on the table. The reason this is important is because I want to know exactly where I placed the previous ones. So I'm gonna make notes of that. And here are the fins right here. They're delicious. They are from Brad at Impact Props. These are custom made, and I can't tell you what they're made out of, but I know they're special and they're custom. You'll have to have him explain exactly what these are, but these are new ones he made for me to put on this helmet. There's something particular about these that's gonna make them a little extra tricky, but not bad, and that is the curvature of all these fins. It's exactly the same, it's the same thing. I have to make them fit the curvature. Now, if you were to look closely at this, you'd see these two are like perfect. There's a little gap here on this fin. This one's tiny gap, but if you were to hold this up to like the curvature of the helmet, let me grab this one here, you'll see that, you know, putting it generally where I want it to go, there's gonna be a big gap there, and that is not delicious. So, if I remember correctly, all I have to do to change this piece to make it fit is to heat it up with a warm gun. And before I do that, what I'm gonna do is just make a note of exactly where this one is that I'm trying to replicate, heat it up, and then press it against here, and hopefully that changes its form. What I'm trying to do is press it and hold it in place while it's warm, and hoping that as it cools, it retains that new shape. And it looks like it's working. It's just really arduous because you're heating up as much as you can and you're holding on as hard as you can, but that's why it's one of the more tricky things, but I think this is gonna work. So the fins aren't going on right now. I'm just shaping them to fit where they're supposed to. Then I'm gonna take all these fins, those respirators, and those toys to my brother's place, drop them off, and he is gonna go ahead and sand them and paint them because he's better at it than I am, and I'm leaving tomorrow morning, so when I come back in a few days, those parts will be ready. And when I continue this video, all I should have to do is just put the parts on the helmet, which is the fun part. So I will come back to that. Hey everybody, I'm back. It's a week later, and the parts have been painted. And this is the fun part, because this is just gonna be me attaching this stuff. Here they are. Here are the breathing apparatuses. Again, these are just filters. My brother sanded and painted these for me, along with the toys that we took apart, which feel very nice. Additionally, probably most importantly, the custom fins. So here they are, and I numbered them when I heated them to the helmet to get a specific shape, and he kept the numbers on there for me so I know where each one's supposed to go on the helmet, since the curvature of each one's a little bit different. But anyway, since I'm still gonna go with the plan to use the Cena in place of one of these, I am gonna start with, so I can get you guys all on camera here. I'm gonna start with this and this on the helmet's right side, whichever side it won't have the Cena. By the way, if you wanna see, they kind of go together like this. So you have this, and this little lip right here, nicely fits right on there, and then you almost have that perfect curvature underneath to go on the surface of the helmet, almost. It's quite a coinky-dink, but this, boom. Now originally, when I put these on this helmet, they were put on with double-sided tape, which I have here, I'm gonna use for the fins, but they kept falling off for a couple reasons. They're not especially heavy, but they're kind of heavy, and there wasn't much surface contact area beneath. If I grab this other helmet, I can kind of show you that you have all these very strange raised jagged lines, and you have to somehow make contact on there. So I had just tiny little thin pieces, and it wasn't enough. So I ended up super gluing these on. So I'm gonna super glue these. This is still held on with double-sided tape because this is just super light, and you have a huge flat flush area to mount to there and there. So once you put that on, it's not gonna go anywhere. So tape is fine here, but this has to be super glued, which means I wanna be extra careful. When it comes to putting these on, what dictates where they go, aside from what looks pretty, is subjective. But I like it to where the helmet's sitting normally on its own, but if you put them on so that they make contact with the ground when this thing does. So instead of putting them up here so it has room to rotate, or too far down so that it hits this, you start with this, and then you make the ground surface the same. That's how I line them up. I want to have as much surface contact as possible, but I also don't want to put glue on places where this isn't actually going to make contact with that. So it's hard to do, for me anyway. I think I see a couple good lines. It's super finicky, but I will find a way. I really hate permanent things like this. Another reason I'm hesitant to do this is because once I glue this on with super glue, I can't take this off to manipulate this cable anymore. That means this setup is only good for the GoPro Hero 4 that I have. If I want to use a newer one with a different adapter cable, I'm gonna have to rip both of these off to take this off to redo it. So, you know, one reason why I'm against it, but I'm kind of committed to, I guess, this camera, and that's the only way it's gonna go on and stay there. So this is what I'm gonna have to do. Line it up and then press it and just hold it there. And don't move, okay, right there. Just hold it up and, come on, hold still, and then don't move. Whew. Like, I wanna fidget with it, but I need to hold it very still for like a few minutes. This is the boring part, but it's kind of important. All right, so I've been holding it for about 3 minutes, and ideally I should do what I did with those, which is glue them on here and then have something up against them, holding them in place for 24 hours. I might do that, but I want to do more than that. I should just do these and then set them up and be done for today, but I'm gonna try to attach both of them and the other parts, and I might let it sit overnight before I go dry, which would be a good idea, but I'm gonna try to do the other one now that one's sitting perfectly still. Tape, which will fit perfectly right here. Come on, it has to fit perfectly because it's just so close in size. All right, there, just like that. Use the delicious heat gun, get that to adhere to my piece, press it on there, get that piece of film off. Very carefully move this, please don't fall apart. Warm up both surfaces, just get them nice and toasty down here. Just like that, right there. And now I'm gonna push so that we're breaking it. I probably should just go ahead and super glue these things on, but if I don't have to do anything permanently, then I just won't. I can always do super glue later. Here we go, so you got that on one side, and you have it omitted from the other side, because now that I have this one there, I'm gonna try my very best to see if I can fit a Cena in that spot. I don't think it looks terrible. I mean, it's clearly not symmetrical, but it's just so darn close. I think I'm gonna roll with that. So I'm gonna heat it up, although it's probably not necessary because of the kind of tape it is. Now very carefully, without bumping my freshly super glued pieces, find just the best spot, and that's it. And then I want this to go away so that I can just push the mount to the helmet. But you have to have the Cena on there first to line it up in exactly the right spot. And I gotta take the cables that I have, and I gotta, you know, line my helmet with these speakers and this microphone. Okay, so while this is sitting here being nice and pretty and trying to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and get the adhesives ready for these fins. They're already laid out in order. They're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, left to right. And so they're really thin. I'm just gonna cut some pieces of double-sided tape, warm them up, stick them to the fins. I took an inch wide piece, cut out the length of one of these, and I'm cutting it into quarters. So here's half, but if you cut it into quarters, boom. Truth be told, the curvature of these fins did not come out as good as these. These aren't perfect, but these are better than these. I'm really not worried about them falling off. There's just it's just not likely gonna happen at all. But if it does, I can super glue these and then they won't go anywhere. The issue right now still are these needing to dry more. I mean, really, they feel really good right now, but I probably should let them dry some more. Anyway, we're almost freaking done. All I have to do is put on the visor. Just gonna set this up here for a second and try to gently hook it on those right there. What we need is these nice little cover pieces for those right there. Put this on the other side. That one feels pretty good. Now just to test it, take your visor up and down. Click it all the way, make sure none of the sides pop off and the screws aren't moving. Awesome, that seems to work perfectly good. Okay, last step right here. Take off the film. Ready? Moment of truth, we're about to have a copy. Oh wait, no, I lied. Put it back on. I'm gonna put the GoPro here first since this is a motovlogging helmet. There you go, motovlogging Venator 2.5 helmet. Boom! Dude, check it out. Got my 2 helmets. As you can see, the original is more aesthetically pleasing, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to stick these extra parts on there, because this one just looks super clean, and I want to keep it that way. But now I have a replica that I can use for motovlogging. It's the same helmet, it just has GoPro and Cena setups in there. So you can gotta get a better comparison of how these are similar. That Cena takes place to that. I think it looks okay. I mean, the helmet cannot be symmetrical anyway, as long as you have a Cena on there, whether it's back there or way back there, but there you go, man. Right there. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Yeah. That's legitness. Well, everybody, that's it. I hope you appreciate this little random different video. Like I said, I was gonna put together and realized I could just record it. So if you enjoyed it, please let me know. And along those lines, if there's something else you want to see, like a little more maybe in-depth tutorial about how I would set up a camera or a Cena in your helmet, or maybe other things, like I get asked a lot, what kind of motorcycle should I buy? And apparently, because you watched me drive a motorcycle, I'm a bike expert. That's sarcasm. But if you want my opinion about stuff like that, or if you'd like any other kind of videos, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.